right. Okay. We
Good
should be good for
afternoon.
chit-chatting.
How you doing?
Hello.
We're going to get storms again today.
Sorry.
You were coming in a little bit again as the robot, so I'll have to see. I have my headphones on. I wonder if that's the problem. Hmm.
Because I haven't
You know
changed
what?
anything. I haven't done
Yeah,
anything.
I might let me try shutting my cell phone off. There could be interference there. Uh, Let me just double check something to see if that automatically hit my cell phone. Nope, it didn't. But I'm gonna shut it off anyway. If it'll go off, come on. There we go. All right, we'll see if that works.
He hit a deer.
All right, so now with my phone off, I can't tell what time it is. So you're the timekeeper too today.
Okay.
All right. So do we have
Yep.
anybody in with us yet? No, a little bit too early.
Uh, 1 and 1.
One and one, that must be me and you.
No, I mean one in YouTube and one in.
Rumble. Yeah, I wanted to make a comment about that. I'm not sure why the numbers look so low for since we did our so far 4-part series on corrupt politicians. We had been kicking ass in all of the numbers, and now for some reason the numbers are significantly lower. And we think
I think they're
possibly what
being
could be
throttled because of the
uh-huh,
topic.
being suppressed, correct?
Yep.
What's the,
That's what I
yep.
come up with.
Uh-huh. So we think we're back underwater somehow. Uh, and next next week we plan on probably for the majority of the week we'll probably be still dealing with corrupt politicians because we've yet to hit the big players like Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell. Who else is in
Mhm.
there? Crazy B. And we've got Republicans in there as well, so it's just not a Democrat thing. We have
It's whoever's doing stupid stuff on our dollar.
exactly. Yep. There's a bunch of local things going on as well. And I had a question. We have we also have I think somewhere in the show notes, I don't know if that's today or we're going to show it later, but I want to bring it up anyway. So we have a couple politicians that have been changing political affiliation. We have two Democrats going over to the
I have those
Republican
for
Party.
today.
Okay. Can I ask my question ahead of time so I don't forget and then you can address it when we get there?
Yes,
So the one position I believe is an elected position. So if you're elected as a Democrat and you switch over to a Republican, is that just like okay? Do the constituents have a say in this? Like, can they?
um, you're allowed to. I mean, they'll just vote you out next time if they don't like it.
Okay,
I mean, they voted the guy in for a reason, and maybe him switching parties isn't a bad thing, and they will accept it and prefer it, or who knows.
I mean, does anything ever happen to them when they do? You know?
I don't know. It's very rare for politicians to switch parties. I have only
Yes.
seen this a handful of times, and it's mostly been in recent years.
Right.
So I'm
Huh.
not really sure what happens. I mean, a lot of people in Congress, the federal Congress, have done
Right.
it.
Right.
Tulsi Gabbard being the most prominent
Recent.
one.
Right. But
Uh,
she ended up not seeking re-election though. Or
but
they
I
could re.
part of
Yeah, so
the thing going on.
hey Art, how you doing? So
Yeah.
Art writes, depending on the exact position, your constituents could recall you or vote you out. Some have been voted out. Um, I could see that for future, obviously for future voting. I just didn't know what would happen if, say I'm working 7 months into my 2 year or 4 year position and I go, ooh, I want to be a Democrat and I'm a Republican. What can they do to me, if anything? So Art's saying they could recall me. But didn't they try to, hmm, I'm thinking of the wrong type of recall. That was for, that was when, in Arizona. That's not the same thing. Um,
Oh
but a
yeah,
re
that
right,
situation.
but a recall would uh, have to have the constituents come out to vote again, correct? And I wonder what the chances of
Yes,
that,
or a
what's the
deputy or
chances of
a
that happening?
actually pretty good if the entire town or area is
It's
pissed off
pissed off.
enough.
Yeah. So if it's probably something small, I don't know what the odds of that are. I'd have to look into. I really don't know the answer to that question. Anyway,
And
we'll
again,
talk
it
about it.
depends on the circumstance and everything and where it's at
Right,
and what they're
right.
likely to do. How pissed off are the constituents? Is this something that's better for them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of context that we would need in order to have
Okay.
a educated guess.
All right. Um, then I wanted to
Oh,
remind everybody for the next probably couple days, I'll probably be saying it, effective next week, I believe.
yep.
Hold on. Yes, I see. I shut my phone off. Effective next week, programming's going to change for the summer. We will be broadcasting Tuesday through Friday. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 3 to 5, our usual time. Saturdays we are off. Sundays and Mondays will be questions that need answers. So that will at least occur through uh, the Labor Day weekend. And then if we like the way the setup is, we may determine to go with it, but we shall see. Um, and I'll repeat that probably every day just as a reminder for everybody. What else? Do we have anything else, Crazy B? I have my
You wanted
pen,
me to
I have
share a
my
picture.
meds. Oh yeah, we have a picture. Okay. So
Let me
here
share
we
that
have,
really fast.
uh-huh. I forgot about that already. This is
Uh-huh.
Wild, yep, this is Wild Man JJ already at a little over, well, 5 weeks old, 5 weeks and a day. And my man has already gained 2 pounds, so he's at 11.3, and he already grew an inch. So he's at 22 and a half inches. So I expect another bruiser in the family. So,
I like the baby straitjacket he's in. I want one for me
uh-huh.
to sleep at night.
That's, yeah, that was funny because we were going back and forth on that this morning about exactly what that was. And back in the day when I had the boys, they didn't have the arms. They just had a cuff around them, so their hands were out. And they created this so the baby wouldn't scratch their face. And it basically was just instead of having the legs in it, it was just like a sleeping bag and you zipped it up. So this crazy bee and I are talking. He's like, Dee, that's a straitjacket for a baby. What are you talking about? So it was that versus swaddling, and we are trying to decide which is which, but I'm leaning towards a straitjacket. So now we're
I
trying to
want a
decide,
straitjacket so I can sleep better at night.
well, they do have those weighted blankets. I don't
I
know.
know, but they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
No, I have a throw, or it's either a throw or a twin that I've yet to get out. Uh, I don't know
I had
why
a
I haven't.
$60 one and they decided to leave it when we moved state.
Oh, lovely. I'm
Uh-huh.
not sure if I'm
Isn't
gonna
it?
like it or not. I don't know why. I just think I'm not, so I haven't gotten it out. But maybe I should. Maybe it would keep me from thrashing around, huh? No, I don't thrash. I lay in one frickin' position nowadays.
Well, the weight would also help if you have like restless leg syndrome. It weighs
Yeah,
the legs enough to where you can't kick as much.
yeah. Then I'll probably feel claustrophobic, so
Well, you
I'll
don't
be
know
like,
unless you try. You
this
don't
is true.
necessarily need to have it for
And then
sleep, but just
if it doesn't work, I'll send it down your way. That's all.
do you know how much that would cost to ship?
Oh, I could. Oh my gosh, I could only imagine.
I just sleep in my
Nowadays with the
box or hang by
yeah.
my heels in the closet.
Heck, that's
Oh
funny.
God. No, I need my weighted blankets.
I mean,
I'm
he
gonna have
can't
to
make
get
up his
some.
mind. I thought he lived under a rock. Oh, he lives under the rock, but he at nighttime he hangs by his heels. I got it now. Okay. Oh,
Closet and
art.
it's under his rock. Like Patrick Starr has that little entire house under there with the
Yeah,
living
yeah,
room and all that
and
stuff.
all of that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I think that's what it boils down to.
Uh-huh. So other than that, I'm still tired from yesterday. No, yeah, I am. I'm tired. And we're gonna repeat it tomorrow. So, oh, don't
Beat.
start you yawning, or we're gonna be sleeping on this one. All
Hey,
right.
I'm sure they'll
What do
get
you
over it.
got? All right. What do
I've
you
got
got
your
going
liberal
on?
hive mind video.
Okay. Are we
Um,
doing that
I
first?
believe it shouldn't have been 8 minutes. I swear I sped that sucker up.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Did I do something wrong? Where's my videos? Where's today? Um, I opened the wrong one. One
Okay.
second.
One moment, please. Oh, Crazy
Yeah.
Bee is finding out where she put her videos.
Crazy bees.
Hold up, are
Just
you illegally downloading that guy's videos?
no. Oh
I
my
can tell
god.
him I hear every word he's saying. He needs to just put on a headset.
I know he needs to just put on a headset and join
I know.
us.
I
No,
know.
no.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
I
What you
sped
got
it up
for
a
us?
little bit so we can get through it faster.
Okay. I don't. We have
This
so
is
much
the
going on that just hit it, Crazy Bee.
oh no, the space under my rock is a separate dimension. It's the way to Tartarus functions. Um, B may know the reference. I do know the reference.
Isn't that the
What? I guess
W?
I'm just stupid and I might not know the reference. Okay. Or thanks. Mm.
Besides, what's the point of me picking up a headset if your microphone can pick me up?
Oh, my microphone. Yeah, it can. You can hear it. Come here. Do you want
Hmm.
my other earbud?
No.
Oh, now I have two earbuds. He could listen with an earbud too.
This is
Nope,
Schmearbud,
true.
schmearbud.
he doesn't want it. Go
It's
figure.
funnier this way.
Oh, he thinks it's funnier this way.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Go ahead. Hit
Let's
play.
hit play.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the
You
abundant
did
hypocrisy of
download
the
that
left.
guy's
Man, oh
video.
man, if you ever needed yet again another example.
I do support him. I follow him. I have
Okay,
watched
but
all of his
But
videos.
using a random website to download his videos is not morally
I didn't
correct.
use a random website to download it.
What website did you use?
I didn't use a website.
Who do you use?
None of your damn business.
Exactly.
To justify your absolute contempt
You're
for the
not
fake news
supporting
mainstream.
this guy directly.
Go now. If you're not going to shut up, I'm going to tase you.
You're stealing his videos.
I'm going to tase you.
Stealer.
Oh my God! Someone want my son?
You're stealing
No,
that guy's
thank you.
videos
Pass.
for your own profit.
You're going to pass? Okay.
Media, then here you
Sorry.
have it. The MSM is absolutely compromised, folks, and they are terminally obsessed with spinning the daily news events
Oh,
every
don't
single
dare
day,
him.
every event, every
Don't
moment, no matter
tell
how
him that's
normal
the
or how
wrong thing to
meaningless. You
say.
got
So
thousands of
dare you.
Buddy, I'm going to give you 2 seconds before I bust out the full name and I really go off. the disclaimer for the freedom of information, the freedom of use or whatever thing from the publishers and news things. And yes, I changed enough of his video that it's not a copyright infringement.
Copyright? You're just flat out stealing.
I am not stealing. I'm borrowing sections of his video that are highly important and sharing them with others. And there's a link to his original video in the description below. So go buzz off. Oh my
There
God.
we
I'm
go.
about to take on y'all are about to hear me go to jail. He's
It's
21.
okay. I know.
Good luck.
Quit interrupting.
Good luck getting up the stairs.
All I need to do is get you past that door and close it. That's all that matters.
Good luck getting to the closet.
Help.
Mhm.
We're going to try to ignore him. I do apologize. Hold on.
What the
I'm
heck
one of
goes
the
your-
other escape time lords. And yes, it was, you got the Doctor Who reference. So
What the
Mhm.
heck goes through you?
Go ahead,
journalists
hit
sitting
play.
behind their desks at their
Maybe
keyboards,
you
just
can
sitting, waiting for a
turn it
moment
up
that they
and
could
you
use.
won't hear 'em.
and volume's all the way up.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
let's do our best.
Or probably more specifically manipulate to spin against Donald Trump. These people don't report the news anymore. They engineer it. They manufacture outrage for clicks and anti-Trump or anti-Republican political attacks. And what they do is not just dishonest at this point. It's parasitic. It's cancerous. And it's why nobody trusts these people anymore. It's why they deserve
Is
and they
the
have earned
video
every ounce of the
playing,
collapse
dear?
that they're currently living through. And speaking of them
I just see
Yeah.
the.
It's playing.
Okay.
You should be able to hear it.
Nope, don't hear a thing. Of course I don't. Hold on. There you go. So you got to turn the on button. No, that doesn't matter
Ready?
either. Go ahead.
manufacturing fake scandals and hoaxes. Boy, do I have the perfect example. Today's scandal is honestly one of the dumbest and most pathetic ones
You
yet.
gotta
Let me
be
show you guys
kidding.
exactly what's going on here.
Really?
I present to you
Already we're starting out this way.
You're having tech issues.
Yep. I'm getting mad
Check in
now.
your settings in the studio to make sure it's set to the right headphones.
It is.
Okay.
I might just take the headphones off and the hell with it. Okay. Go ahead, keep playing, Crazy Bee. I'll figure it out while
Suitgate.
you're
We got some
doing that.
Okay.
stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so yeah, Blue Suitgate. Take a look at some of these headlines. The Vatican asked Pope Francis funeral attendees to wear all black. Trump wore a blue suit. Trump's blue suit at Pope's funeral draws attention. President Trump's choice stood out in a sea of world leaders and famous faces who were dressed in the customary black. Trump accused of Pope Francis funeral faux pas after breaking dress code and then leaving early. Yep, we've got the latest hoax. Blue Suitgate. Apparently, Donald Trump disrespected the Pope. Another catastrophic incident where Donald Trump embarrasses America on the world stage once again. And this is the photographic evidence that they're attaching to their headlines to make the claim. We've got a zoomed-in photo here showing Donald Trump supposedly standing in a sea of black suits, and he's the only one wearing a blue suit. But guess what happens when you do just a basic, small, little amount of research and find a more fully zoomed out photo of the full crowd? Well, would you look at that? Tons of people wearing blue suits. In fact, it seems as if everybody's wearing a variation of a blue suit. There's very little black suits in the crowd. Most of the people seem to be wearing dark navy blue. And as you can see, there's tons of people wearing blue suits. It's not just Trump. And funnily enough, if we look 1, 2, 3 rows behind President Trump, who's that? It's former President Joe Biden wearing a blue suit and tie. Yeah, it wasn't Trump. Not even close. We've also got a photo of Prince Harry, by the way, wearing a blue suit, as captured in the
One, that's not Prince Harry, that's Prince William. But we're going to let that go. He didn't know his princes, but...
Oh, well, that's case in.
Are you back, Dee?
I'm back, hon.
Okay. Yeah, he just called this Prince Harry, but it's actually Prince William.
I know.
So-
I was going to see if you caught it.
I did catch it. The difference is about 2 years, and one's a big old redhead, the other's half bald.
Are
Exactly.
they related?
Brothers.
Incest?
No. Anyways, I'm going to hit play.
Adultery?
Good afternoon, Cannabis. Good to see you.
Mom, you just said weed.
Hi, Cannabis. How are you?
this photo right over here. Yeah, but apparently, according to the fake news leftist media, it was only Donald Trump who snubbed the dress code and disrespected the Pope. Once again, they're straight up lying, creating a fake scandal by cherry-picking a frame in order to run a negative headline against the president. This is what they do. They don't report on the daily news. They don't report on what's actually happening. They follow the current events and then try to twist and manufacture outrage and scandals and hoaxes to attack the president. It's the same playbook every time. I mean, we've seen it over and over again. Remember these classics? The koi fish hoax? Or CNN edited footage to make it seem as if Donald Trump rudely dumped fish food into a koi pond while visiting Japan and meeting with former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe? Remember the 2 scoops of ice cream scandal? Remember the Puerto Rico paper towel toss, where they claimed Donald Trump was mocking hurricane victims by tossing paper towels? Remember Sharpie Gate or McDonald's Gate when Trump served McDonald's to college athletes? Remember all the outrage when Donald Trump walked in front of the Queen, supposedly disrespecting the Queen of England, but as we saw the whole video, Queen Elizabeth literally told him to walk ahead. I mean, the fake scandals and hoaxes are endless. We've also got the Lafayette Park tear gas hoax, where the media said Trump tear gassed peaceful protesters just so he could get his photo op. That was a totally fake headline, and multiple investigations proved it. And then, of course, one of my favorites, a classic, and we'll use it to transition to the next part here, the West Point ramp walk scandal, when Trump was carefully walking down a steep ramp with slippery, leather-bottomed dress shoes, and apparently that was grounds for the 25th Amendment. The media demanded for weeks on end that Donald Trump be removed from office because he walked down that ramp slowly and carefully, and that was proof that he was mentally unfit. I love how they took that supposed proof of physical decline and then translated it to he's mentally unfit for office. It's a never-ending clown show. And speaking of using the West Point ramp walk as a segue to the next clip, speaking of the mainstream media having absolutely no shame, Donald Trump walked carefully down a ramp, and it was 24/7 emergency broadcasts about Trump's failing health and he needed to be removed by the 25th Amendment. Meanwhile, Joe Biden was a freaking vegetable for 4 years, and the same media loser said absolutely nothing, and just to make matters worse, they're now giving themselves journalism awards for supposedly reporting on Joe Biden's cognitive and physical decline and being ahead of the curve.
Partiality, integrity, and a deep knowledge of the presidency. The award also includes a prize of $2,500. This year's award goes to Alex Thompson of Axios.
Okay, I had been complaining about Biden's mental acuity and mental health and overall health since he decided to run for presidency in 2019. So, where's my
When he
award and
was
my
in the,
$2,500?
yeah, well, you mean when he was in the basement?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Where's my money? I bitched about it on X day in and day out. I don't want a dementia patient running the country.
Well, he wasn't demented. He was hiding from COVID.
No, he had dementia.
Okay.
Oh, from the beginning, he's had dementia, and they hid it.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress of the presidency made it worse. And then they had to drug him. Anyways,
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna point it out. Where's my 2,500 and my award for
I'll send,
reporting it?
I'll send you a certificate.
Okay.
I'll send you a certificate.
Cannabis. I'm still waiting on those WMDs. Yeah, I know. Where's how many presidents ran with that one? I mean,
Uh-huh.
oh God, at this point, I think all of them. Well, since Bush Jr. or no, Bush Sr. Bush Sr.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's hit play.
The judges said Thompson's aggressive reporting on President Biden, especially leading up to and after the Trump-Biden debate, revealed the president's cognitive decline was impacting his ability to do his job, information the White House tried to conceal. Ladies and gentlemen, the White House Correspondents Association is pleased to give the Aldo Beckman Award to Alex Thompson.
Where's my Aldo Beckman Award?
A total joke. They lie and lie and lie, and then reward themselves, pat themselves on the back after finally admitting the truth when it's too late to even matter. I mean, it's disgusting. At this point, I deserve a freaking journalism award, and so does everybody in the independent media world, because we reported on Joe Biden's clear cognitive decline before the 2020 election. Absolutely embarrassing. And it's exactly why the media is falling apart. You can't trust these people. They're nothing but propagandists. And so here we are, another day, another fake Trump scandal, another reminder why the mainstream media is totally collapsing before our very eyes. There's no other solution here. There's no path to redemption for the mainstream media. You cannot fix an institution this corrupt. You cannot reform an industry that has zero interest in telling the truth. And frankly, why would anybody want to fix this? The best solution, the best thing that could possibly happen is for this entire rotten media complex to collapse under the weight of its own lies. Frankly, the sooner the better. Yet again, another totally disproven hoax. Oh, and don't fall for some of the photos that you're seeing online on social media where people are claiming that the photo that I showed you is photoshopped to make it appear as if people were wearing blue when they weren't. The photo is not photoshopped, and people are posting this Getty image photo where the saturation is clearly taken down, and it seems like at that point the sun might have been covered by the cloud, and it makes a lot of the navy suits appear as if they're black or very dark. It's total BS. If you keep searching, you'll see that when the sun was out, you could very clearly see that many people were wearing blue, and I showed you that definitively clear photo of Prince Harry wearing an obviously blue suit. He was not the only one. So don't fall for the fake leftist fact checks. They're absolutely full of it, and they're running with a fake news headline. And even worse, they're defending a totally corrupt, totally compromised, lying, duplicitous media. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the
All right. Yep. So that's our first one. And
that's our update. As remember, we try to bring you the most up-to-date information on anything we report on, and that was the most up-to-date on Suitgate. So hopefully that has been put to rest. However, I don't know if we probably should bring up from Suitgate, since he was attending the Pope's funeral, What do you think about him and his comment that he now wants to become Pope?
He's a smartass and he's Lutheran. How the fuck could he become the Pope?
I don't know.
Huh? Who became the Pope?
They're talking about Trump becoming Pope. That would be
How?
so.
I mean,
He's not a Catholic. nor
Okay,
is he a
maybe they're
Mormon.
right about him being the Antichrist. I don't know.
but
There's an entire video
imagine,
dedicating the process of becoming
that
a
would
Pope.
be
Trump's not
that
part
would
of the
be
Pope.
great if he could become Pope and stay in a position till he died. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Is this Trump saying it or other people
Oh
saying
no,
he said
Trump
it?
said that Trump made, I don't know the exact quote, but Trump supposedly said that he could become the next Pope. And so the
How?
left,
He's Lutheran.
I don't know. Obviously, it's a joke, but the left has gone berserk. So I'm just putting that out there as comedic relief for all of this. I mean, but it would be an interesting. Could you see him as Pope?
Actually, there's two videos for comedic relief that we could have ran, but
Well,
no, I
speak
don't see
later.
Trump as Pope.
Okay,
I don't see him becoming Pope. I
right.
don't agree with him becoming Pope. And
Well,
I sure as hell would not be okay with him being Pope.
well, I don't know. I'm Lutheran too, so hey, let's get down for the Lutherans to become Pope. Hey, I don't know. Let's switch it up
It's
a
a
bit.
completely different, well, it's not a
I don't care.
completely
The
different
Catholics
religion.
have been
It's,
fucking it up for years, so let's try
well,
it
and that's their prerogative to screw up their own religion.
again. Calm down. It's okay, crazy bee. We're just trolling here. We're just trolling. Calm down.
I'm just saying it's their own prerogative if they want to fuck their own religion. I'm not going
Calm
to stop
down.
them
I
any
know.
more than I'm going to help them.
You know.
Y'all have at it over there in Rome. You guys do your thing. I'm over
Yeah.
here
When
believing my beliefs.
is it this week? Tuesday? Aren't they supposed to start?
They are supposed to be starting, I believe it is this week Tuesday.
Okay.
I might be wrong though.
I thought it was Tuesday. I'm not positive.
Mhm.
Very curious to see which way they're going to swing.
Uh-huh. Now, the next question is which topic do we want to cover?
You're the boss, applesauce.
You don't want me to be the boss. I'm
Uh-huh.
not a fun boss.
You're not?
No, I'm not. Okay, let's do something funny.
Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Let's do a funny. We need a funny. This woman is a piece of work.
Yeah.
Watch what she did in a road rage incident. She took road rage to a whole new shitty
I
level.
didn't see this. I don't even know if I'm going to look. Go ahead.
It doesn't show anything, it's all blurred out.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you tell us what happened?
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me.
That is 44-year-old Christina Solometto being put into a Prospect Park police car, but you may know her by this now viral video. Police say the Ridley Park mother is the woman seen getting out of her car and, yes, defecating on the hood of the car of another woman. She's seen getting right back into her black
can shit that
Nissan we
quickly?
saw parked outside of her
Wait.
home.
Come on.
I want to know.
Crazy
I get I
bee
have
on a Sunday.
IBS.
Oh, come on. That's
I have IBS and bowel movements are not normal for me, but who can shit that fast?
What?
She probably had to really go, but what? With no toilet paper or
Hold up.
anything? Come on.
Let me back this up. My son's saying, "What? Come here. Look at this. Buddy, look. Watch how quickly she poops."
Can you tell us
Watch.
what happened?
The lady chased me.
It's gonna take a
She
second
chased me and I
replay.
asked her not to attack me.
That is 44-year-old Christina
Hold on.
Solometto
I'm sorry, I had to
being put
restart
into
it.
a Prospect Park police car, but you may know her by this now
Watch how
viral
quickly
video.
she shits on this car.
Police say the Ridley Park mother is the woman seen getting out of her car and, yes, defecating on the hood of the car of another woman. She's seen getting right back into her black Nissan
Come
we
on.
saw parked.
Yeah, I want to
Really?
know who can shit that fast.
We've sunk to a whole new low, crazy bee. Oh my God. Really? No toilet paper? No. Oh my God. How disgusting. People are messed up in this world.
I just want to know who can shit that fast. I can't.
I guess if you got to go, you got to go. Maybe she was holding it in. I don't know.
Cannabis, apparently she can. I've never known anyone to be able to shit that quickly.
How'd she get up on the car hood? She looked kind of, well, you know.
Well, I think it was more on the front grill and bumper than it was anything else. But still. I mean, and she's 2 years older than me. That's what's crazy. Cannabis, not my circus, not my monkeys. I agree, but it just makes your head wonder, and you start thinking like, okay, I'm 42, she's 44. I'm not this stupid.
I didn't know you could go to jail for that.
Yeah. Oh, there was a Florida guy who hung from a light post and was shitting on cars as they were going underneath him.
Oh, get out of here.
It depends on the day and how much Mexican food I've had. Just saying. I know this is not a typical conversation for podcast, and again. But yeah, there was a guy who actually got in trouble. He was completely naked, climbed up on a light post, and came out over the stoplight
Yeah.
over the intersection. As cars were going through, he would just shit on them. It
How
was
much
really
did he
weird.
have in him? I mean, like, okay,
It was a homeless guy on drugs. So
okay.
I know a lot of those drugs can back you up for days. So he probably had a good 5-10 pounds.
So what do? Say today's the day I'm gonna go hang from the light post? Okay,
Yeah.
right.
But it
Okay.
was quite interesting watching the cops trying to get him down and then
Oh, I
arrest him.
bet.
I feel bad for cops. Cops do not get enough credit for the
No, they
shit
don't.
they put up with.
No, they don't.
Literally, this kind of shit.
No, they don't. I mean, and I'm sure you did, Crazy B. Some of the and we're way off topic again. Here we go. We haven't even started today. But with you going into the medical field, and when I had to play scab paramedic for 2 weeks, uh, going into all those homes, man. Oh gosh, it was
Uh
some of the
huh.
stuff was. I almost said some of the shit was disgusting. Boy, was it! It was bad.
Uh huh.
It's amazing the way
You
people
would.
live.
I've been in homes where my shoes would stick to the carpet.
Oh
Like
yeah,
actually have to
yeah.
pull. The
When I
carpet was so filthy.
when I came home, I actually would. Well, this is a little bit too much info, but I'm going to share it anyway. I'd strip down naked outside because I'd be
Uh
afraid to
huh.
take
And
my
walk in.
because I'd be afraid of what I was carrying in with me after being we had to work mandatory 12-hour shifts, and it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the places we went into, it was just you'd walk in and the room would the floor would be moving and the animals would be everywhere, and oh my gosh, it was terrible. Absolutely.
I told you about the time I had to climb on a bed.
Uh-huh.
It was a queen size or full size bed, saturated in human waste. I mean,
Yep.
worked with cops for 10 years. I've got stories. There's a reason they have a twisted sense of humor. Yes,
Yeah, you have.
because
Yeah.
it
Well.
really truly is. And trust me, I get along with just fine with cops and paramedics on this stuff because I've been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, walked in on more than one patient sitting there on their couch, pinpoint pupils staring off into space, and good luck getting them to be responsive. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing they're doing is breathing and staring.
Yep.
Guess what they OD'd on?
Mm-hmm.
Mom, I have a
Guess who
question.
had to sit and wait for the medics to get there?
Uh,
What?
Jesus did this right here in America. Do you think Trump would deport him?
If he didn't come through the border, yes, Trump. His name is um those homes. Oh yes, those
Yeah,
I've been
they're
there,
bad.
done
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
There
telling
used to
you,
be that whole
there was a
series.
patient.
Yeah, there was that whole
Yep.
series with hoarders. Ooh.
Been
Like,
a patient
well,
told the dog peed on the couch and the couch was sitting over the heater vent, and every time that furnace kicked on, the whole house lit up with
Yeah.
that smell.
Well, my bed right now might qualify for hoarders since I've been living on the whole one side of it for the last 2 years.
No, that's different than hoarding.
Okay.
That's different than hoarding.
Just what
Hoarding is
that? That's just
and
a hot mess,
throw
right?
empty boxes.
Yeah.
Oops, why'd that highlight that? I'm sorry. So, oh, let's hit play. We got another 7 minutes of this.
Parked outside of her home tonight.
They were both headed in the same direction. They both lived not far from one another. And the car thought the woman was following her, where she was actually just going home.
The incident happened Tuesday evening near the corner of 4th and Madison, a half a block away from a Little League field where the Delco defecator video has left some neighbors speechless.
I don't know. It's been running through my mind all day since I heard about it.
Indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and a misdemeanor depositing waste on the highway. As she was getting arrested, Solometto says,
I have a sickness.
she didn't elaborate on the sickness, but the bizarre case has now gotten international attention. A kind Chief 1.
It can't happen in this community. No town wants this to happen in their town. I mean, the recognition a town gets over this kind of thing, it's really unwelcome. We don't want this.
No wonder why the other countries think.
And that was Chris
crazy.
O'Connell there with our Fox 20.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I was going to say, no wonder why other countries think we're crazy.
Yeah, we get people like this running around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had a joke going on the Discord server because there's a meme going around. It says, type in Florida man and then your date of birth and look at all the news articles of the different Florida things stupid people have done on your birth is a great day to get. I mean, there's running series on call me Fridays or this, that, or the other having to do with Florida man.
Wow.
There are things you just can't unsee. Some are just weird.
Isn't that true?
There was a Florida guy who decided it was a bright idea to throw a 3 drive-through window at a Wendy's. He thought it was a good prank. Yeah. And yeah, again, I don't know where Delco is, but I have a feeling it might be Florida, possibly. Anyway, let's get through the last couple. Well, actually, do we want to continue listening to this or no?
We can move on.
Okay. I was just, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the world. Just,
You're not kidding.
Yeah, it was a shitty situation.
That's bad. Crazy B, that's bad.
Next, let's talk about this this video.
And just
supposedly,
so you know, before we move on, fortunately, I've been able to get my pills down, so I don't have to use the other recommendations so far.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll keep that in mind, though. All right, what's up next?
Many times the draggers will run out of the house nude.
Ugh.
Yeah, they think we're in a nudist community and we're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. Venezuela sending Tren de Aragua potentially on purpose with a mission. Oh, druggers, not draggers. Okay. Well, technically both. Hey, JJ.
Hi, JJ.
Hello, hello.
I missed you. Happy anniversary.
Yes, that was last week. And JJ missed the shitty videos.
That's okay.
Anyway, so Nicaragua was supposedly sent here with a mission. Let's take a listen.
White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller just announced something at the White House conference that the media isn't sharing. Stephen Miller said, President of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, And all of the Maduro regime were planning on using TDA members or Tren de Aragua to infiltrate the United States and commit crimes, even allegedly assassinations on U.S. citizens and congressmen and politicians. Listen to this.
Not continue to engage in acts of terrorism or coordination with the Maduro regime. You may have seen recently an FBI assessment that was unclassified.
Wow.
Maduro regime using and planning to use Tren de Aragua terrorists to carry out assassination plots on American soil. Now, very few in this room covered that. I'll let you all ask yourselves why you didn't cover it.
That is exactly what the media isn't telling anybody. Everybody's focusing on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Everybody's focusing on they claim that Donald Trump is doing wrong. But this is why there has been such a crackdown on these terrorist groups, because of what the government knows about what's happening. This is all an attempt to make America safe again.
Yeah. So, the Tren de Aragua were given specific missions.
So I wonder if MS-13 was too.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Right.
MS-13 was definitely going after people who've crossed them.
Right. So does, Trump has classified them as terrorist organizations. Was there a different law that he could have used other than the one from the 1700s that declared war to get them out?
I don't think there would have been an option. I don't know, because I'm not a constitutional lawyer. I don't know. I like to follow the Constitution, but I have not memorized it. So, I would hope again, I'm not sure, but I mean, if that's all they could get to really push for the complete removal of these, but we're not at war with Venezuela or Mexico.
Right.
So how can he use the Foreign Enemies Act? We're not at war with them.
So Art says, okay, if that's true, then have Congress declare war. This just sounds like Miller doing CYA because they didn't show the court any evidence. I don't know that for a fact yet, Art. We just found that today, early this morning, so we would have to do a little bit digging into what Miller has to say, if there's such a report that's out there for the public consumption.
Yeah.
Cannabis says Dems dash 13 question mark.
It's 13 instead of MS-13.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually
Dems 13.
DEMS.
Mm-hmm. I guess we could switch that to reps too, 13. So
because there are some Republicans that yes. But the next video I got for your consumption and entertainment, or so I hope, is divorce court judge acting unprofessional on
don't
multiple
tell them.
levels.
Just let them watch it. Just let them see it.
Okay.
University. I became a judge when I was. What did I do? I became a judge when I was 33 years old. I am now a judge on television, but I'm still a sister.
Okay, she can dance. Good for her.
When I used to watch her show, I'd keep it in the background or whatever. She has been on different shows, Divorce Court being one, a couple others related to like civil matters, you owe me rent money, stuff like that. She's written numerous books, highly a public personality. When I saw this of her, all credibility just went out the window. My respect for her just went down, like just went down. To be, I
Yeah.
she can dance. I don't care. I don't care if she
Oh,
was.
she's got a good dance rhythm. I
She,
like it.
yeah,
But
she could be in a bar, at a wedding, at a club, whatever. Not at a conference. It'd be like me being at a
yeah,
conference. Hey, I'm a stripper too. Let me whip off all my clothes for you. I mean, there's a place and a time
please
for
don't.
all this. Go ahead, laugh. Go ahead, laugh. You want me to do that next thing? Huh? I could.
I'm giggling over here. I'm giggling.
And hey, my shit's been shown everywhere in the hospitals and stuff. The next time I have somewhere to be at the hospital, I'll just whip it all off. There you go. It's all for,
And Soul Train.
yeah. The next thing I have to do, I'm just shocked. And then, to use the word,
I
I'm sexist. I mean, come on. Really?
It's definitely something that I have a whole new perspective on.
I just a disappointment. It just, what kind of role model is that for younger women, young girls that perhaps are watching her or whatever? I just, again, I just feel it's very unprofessional to be in a, he didn't do horn.
That would be if I were to be everyone whined and puking.
After no, after all the surgeries I've had, I'd be a good Mrs. Frankenstein, you know. That'd be, oh, I don't. You know what? I don't ever know. I don't know if I've ever told the audience or not, but just in case, I won't go into all kind of detail. But just in case you ever start to hear me oink, you just want to call me Miss Daisy instead of Miss D. So that's a possibility that I could start to oink, considering internally I'm held with pig bladder. But in order to put me back together in 2023, I have 8 layers of pig bladder holding me together. So if I oink, just call me Miss Daisy and I might snap back out of it. You never know. But I could
Yes,
run
Miss
around.
Daisy.
Okay. There you go.
Yes, Miss Daisy.
Miss
I
D.
can't do the Morgan Freeman Southern accent as good, but yes,
But
Miss
yeah, but
Daisy.
there you go. And you'll be driving Miss Daisy crazy. I'll tell you that, crazy bee. But
Well, Cannabis says, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
oh, hey, my shit's been shown everywhere. I'll tell you that. I'm held to get that
Oh,
all in one spot. 8 layers of pig bladder. I want to know who the hell, like, what, we're getting high around the campfire or whatever. And we see a dead pig or a pig running around, and they go, huh, you know what a good idea for that pig bladder might be? Let's put that into people and sew them back up with that shit.
well, there's actually a reason.
I know there
It's
is,
not that
but
they just looked at pigs, but after years
I
of
know
research,
cows,
they
whatever.
did find that they're very similar to humans and can
I
be
know.
interchangeable.
I know that. It just is, I mean, what do we do though? Cut the pig open and go, what could we do with this body part? What could we do with that body part? It just,
Actually, it's more started off with we want to see what would happen to a human, but because of, human rights laws, we can't experiment on humans. Pigs
so
are
what?
close enough.
Right.
How it works.
I thought they did.
That's more what it came from.
So pigs more so than monkeys or gorillas or whatever, huh?
Yes, when it comes to tissue similarities and stuff, their skin is much similar and their organs are much similar to how ours function versus like how a monkey's organs function in their
Mhm.
skin levels. Their skin is a different toughness and where pigs are actually similar with the dirt
Why never
layers
really,
and everything
yeah.
like ours.
So when I get those urges to run around naked at nighttime through the bushes and shit, scratching for whatever, foraging through the forest, now I know that it's due to the pigs, right? And not whatever. Hmm.
Art says, "See what happened at veterinary middle school."
There you go. That's probably closer to the truth than anything. The vet went
Yeah,
to.
but no, I mean, it really does boil back down to they want to know what would happen, and we can't experiment on humans thanks to human rights. I mean,
Well, at
obviously.
some point, it became an experiment to put pig bladder to hold a human together.
Once they realized that the tissue was compatible enough that we could use it to have, I mean, to put pig organs in people to die.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well, just
unusual for a pig's heart.
yeah. Well, I knew about a pig's heart and all that, but still, pig bladder just kind of.
It's mostly boiled down to they realized, hey, it's compatible. It's so
Yeah.
similar. Maybe we can do this.
Right.
And they started doing it in life-saving measures, and then it became common practice.
Right. Just remember when you hear me start to oink or grunt, just call me Miss Daisy, and we'll go from there.
Oh, we still do art. It's just not publicly acknowledged. He says that we did plenty of experimentation on humans during the Civil War and up until the 1900s. It's happening.
Ooh.
It's just hidden so deep
Yeah.
you can't prove it.
Yeah. If you've watched any of just what they did with mental patients back in the 1900s,
Even in the
well,
70s.
yeah, some of it was horrific, I'll tell you.
That's why they closed many of the mental institutions
Uh-huh.
down.
We used to
Is
have
because patients without proper representation were being used in medical
yep,
experiments.
we had a big facility here where we were located, and they had to shut it down as well. The horror stories that came out of there, man.
Cannabis brought up one that I can't read because I'll get in trouble, but yep.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that the truth?
Literally.
It is
But
true.
I get in trouble if I
Right. We
point
can't
that
say,
out.
yeah, we'll get in trouble. Yep. They're looking for us. And by the way, for those that joined us, if you may not have heard in the beginning, for whatever reason, our numbers all last week tanked. Uh, I mean, they tanked. We
We're
were sitting,
barely pushing double digits. We're in the low
yes,
double digits
it's that bad. So our only
versus the upper hundreds.
correct, uh, close to 1,000 almost in some cases. Um, and we think it has to do with the topic, and we hope that we'll know that next week we're going to hopefully finish up, because we have some big names to touch upon next week. So it'll be interesting to see if the numbers still remain low based on the subject matter, and we think that they're holding our heads underwater again. So
Yep.
yeah, we're not sure what the heck's going on, but something is amiss in River City. It's just very bizarre, very odd.
That's
Art, don't want to think about the long-term effects of technology. We can mention here, let's hope it doesn't turn out too badly. Oh, yeah.
yep. And JJ says, all this talk about pigs and human parts reminds me of Rob Schneider's movie, The Animal. I remember that movie. It was funny.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, basically they incorporated a bunch of animal parts into a person,
Okay.
and those uh behavioral characteristics from each animal started manifesting
Oh,
randomly,
I see.
making it entertaining as all get out.
Okay.
All right, let's watch
And
this next one.
before we show that next
It-
one, I see the Rumble bot finally for a change uh, regarding
Mhm.
sign up for the Discord. If you haven't done so already, we'd appreciate it if you would do so. You'll find continuing conversation between the members and ourselves going on. So if there's direct questions or comments or thoughts that you have that you don't want to leave here, the Discord is more private. As well as we need to get up to at least 50 members in the Discord in order for us to have some additional kind of little
Features.
features and benefits in there. So the more of you that would join that, you don't even have to participate in it if you don't want to. You can just come in and sign up, and you can be a lurker and just see what information is out and about in the Discord. So again, for having almost close to 1,000 people running anywhere from 800 to 1,000 since we started, we should be able to pull off 50 in the Discord, as well as having people like, comment, subscribe. Now I'm going to ask people to share if you haven't done so already, just because we do feel that we're being suppressed given the topic. So
Yes, that is something I'm absolutely sure of,
mhm.
is that they're suppressing the reach.
I don't know how they get away with it. I thought on the Rumble end we wouldn't have had that much of a problem, but apparently we must.
I have no clue.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, that's all I can come up with.
Right. There's no other explanation, because it would be okay if it was, I could see one of the days or something, but to be every day, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, and let's see how these numbers go for today.
Exactly.
If today's numbers spike really high, we'll know we're being suppressed on the topic.
Right. But I don't know if once you're suppressed, if you got to try to claw your way back up again. Like,
no, once you change the topic, it's usually good to go.
I see. Although when we start out with defecating on the hood, I don't know where
that was not how we started. That's the good news. That was only our third video.
I don't know where that's going to get us today, but we'll see.
Hopefully laughs.
Okay.
Hopefully lots and lots of laughs.
There you go. All right.
So this one is the difference between freedom and fairness.
Okay.
Let me make sure it links over. Let's take a listen.
Fairness. In any event, I'm not in favor of fairness. I'm in favor of freedom. And freedom is not fairness. Fairness means somebody has to decide what's fair. And that means the FCC people have to decide what's fair. I don't want the FCC people to decide for me what I should listen to or hear. And you wouldn't be able, if the public at large didn't agree with your choices, you'd be out of business.
Yeah, I would.
So you know, it's a funny thing. People think that it's the appearance of power versus the reality of power. It looks like as if you have a lot of power over what you put on your shelf, but you don't.
Really?
Because if you didn't appeal to the public, if these people didn't like you, do a marvelous job. I'm not questioning that. But you do a marvelous job because you have found an audience for your product.
So in other words, my power comes from the people, is your point.
Absolutely.
And if I just put on all of my favorites, then the public will clearly see that Donahue was sold out and they're right.
Look, I've been reading your book. It's a good book, and I recommend it to you just as he recommended mine. But in that book, you point out the difficulties you had getting into New York.
Yeah.
Suppose you had to have government permission to go into New York. Do you think you would have had it any easier? Do you think you could have had as much independence as you've had?
Mm-hmm. And under the Friedman laissez-faire broadcasting system, there would have been more opportunities for this from Dayton, Ohio to get into New York.
Absolutely. There would have been more stations. There would have been, instead of 3 big networks, you would have had a much broader group of stations. You would have been able to break in much sooner. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it would have happened.
Can we take one here? We got it.
Interesting, the difference.
Yeah, Phil Donahue and who else? Crazy B?
More, Milton Friedman, I believe it was.
Yes, it was. So that's a way back time.
But still a very important one.
Right.
Fairness does not give you freedom. It takes freedom away from some.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely messed up and sad, but it is what it is.
So
Um, n- Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but somebody always, I think, ends up losing out, don't they? Not
When it comes
everybody's
to
free.
fairness,
Yeah. Well, what about when it comes to freedom, though? Somebody, there always is going to be a, somebody has more freedom than somebody else has. Freedom's never equal either.
actually, you're equally free to get a job. You're equally free to talk. You're equally free to own a home. It's what you
No,
choose to do with your freedom.
no, you have things that you have barriers that come in between all of that.
And
You
you can choose to overcome those barriers, or you could choose to just keep living your life the way it is.
what I'm saying is not everybody's going to have access to the same freedom. You're going to have different, say you go to try to for a home. There's going to be various barriers to a home, such as credit scores. How much money do you make?
Everyone has a credit score. We all
Right.
choose to either keep our credit good or we choose not to pay our bills.
Mm.
That's not that they don't have the opportunity, it's what they do with their freedom.
We'll save that for another time. I didn't plan on doing freedom versus fairness. I don't think that you can.
Who's stopped from paying their bills? Who's not allowed to
No,
pay their bills to
I,
intentionally ruin their credit scores?
I'm just saying you're going to still run into banks that may be prejudiced against certain people, that you might not be able to get a loan. Um, do you really think that everybody's going to have a 700 score, that every single person's going to
Well,
have?
here's the thing. Okay, I don't have a 700 score, but what I could fix that.
True.
And of course, one bank might be prejudiced, but there's another bank down the road.
Okay, but then you only make a certain amount of money compared to somebody that's making 100,000 a year.
And why didn't I go for higher education? Why didn't I go for a better degree? Why didn't I go for a smarter career? Why did I choose to pick janitorial instead of a doctor?
Because you don't because there are barriers that are placed in front of you to that. You don't, what.
Who placed the barriers there?
Okay, I didn't get to go to school when I was 18 when I graduated from high school, despite my having a partial
Neither did
swimming
I.
scholarship. My parents said, your ass is going to get a job, and if you want to live at home, you're going to pay a certain dollar amount, still maintain, cleaning, blah, 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 plus still get the shit kicked out of you at 19 till I moved, okay?
But
So,
you did get past that barrier. You
yes,
did.
I did.
You found a way to get past it. You didn't curl
Correct.
up and accept it as your fate and
I
just
did
stay there
not.
forever.
No, but I'm just saying that freedom was not the same as the freedom of all my girlfriends that went to go to school. That my girlfriend that went to go
Well,
on the
nope, not necessarily.
Hmm?
You don't know each of their individual circumstances and the barriers they faced.
No, I'm
What if
talking
they did
about
face very similar?
correct, but I'm talking we could go specifics, we could make it generalities, an overall thing. We could make it one specific targeted area. I mean, I just don't think everything is equal. So freedom is not
And
equal.
that's the thing is, freedom you have equal freedoms to these things. It doesn't mean it's fair that we took all the barriers away so everyone that's what DEI does, is take away those
Correct.
barriers.
Correct. I don't disagree with that. I'm just
So you
saying
now
that
support DEI.
I do not support DEI. You know that. How dare that ever even leave your lips? I'm just saying that
I'm laughing because I knew it was coming. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, you can
I,
this is again where life is not fair. That was a mantra beat into my head since I was
I know
born.
that.
Life
Tell
is
me
not
about
fair.
it. But freedom is not equal either.
Exactly. We all have the right to we all have the right to do what we want to get to our goals.
Like
Unless you want to become a
like
dictator of the
like
world or a
the
mass murderer,
okay,
then there's some issues.
like the Uyghurs do in China.
We're not in China. I'm talking in America, and that's
Oh,
where he's
so
talking
now
to
you're
is in
being
America.
specific to location. Okay, so
I never
freedom.
said it was global. I
I'm just.
never said this was a
I
global
know. I'm just
choice.
trying to find out what we're talking about. Where are we going? Are we limited into the East Coast freedoms or the West Coast?
America has equal freedoms.
I
Everyone
see.
in America has the right to free speech if you're an American citizen.
Mm.
Everyone in America
Mm.
has the freedom to work.
Oh, that's why I've been in Twitter jail, and
That's a private corporation. Is if you cannot walk into your workplace and cuss out your boss and expect no consequences.
correct.
Just saying, it's private corporations do have a right to monitor and to a degree. There is sometimes you can push back, but again, we're out in the streets talking. We are not censored because the government's watching us from every street cam, ready to dock our credit,
Oh, I don't know
our
about
little
that.
behavior score,
I
like in
don't know.
China.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all of that.
Well, we don't openly have a program
Yeah,
stating this
openly.
exists.
There's the word open. Yeah,
But
open.
I mean, on paper and in most practice, people have the right to get a job. People have the right to go take a driver's license test. People have the right to run for public office. People have the right to go to school. People have the rights. It's what they choose to do with those rights.
Well, you might have the right to go to college, but you might not have the means. So
Yeah,
where's the
but
freedom? Where's the freedom?
that's a
Where's the
different
freedom in
story.
that? Exactly. So where's the freedom in that?
The oh god, this is going to be a cyclical
Yeah.
argument
Uh-huh.
because
So we'll do that as another day then. Okay.
yeah,
So
and
let's
there's
continue.
again the difference between freedom and fairness. Fairness means that everyone has the means to do it. Freedom means you
Uh,
just have the right to do
so
it.
there. Oh, okay. All right.
Fairness is the one that fairness is your socialist state,
Right.
giving everyone the equal balance.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's basically poor and your medical care is a lead bullet.
That's different from freedom. How?
There is no freedom there. They even determine which degrees you're allowed to get.
Right. But I'm trying to say, so you're saying this is what freedom is, the definition. How is that? Just insert the word freedom. It's the same.
Who determines what's fair? Do you determine what's fair, or does the government, or does it the dictator, or does
Somebody else always determines that. But
so where
somebody
does
else.
fairness actually benefit you? How would it be fair to you to only be able to get a certain degree because of your skin color and give opportunities, higher opportunities to somebody else because they had a more impoverished life than you?
Right, or a different
Who
skin
determines the
color. That
fairness?
it doesn't matter if they're some impoverished or not. But where's the freedom in it?
Say it again.
Where is the freedom in it?
There would be no freedom because you're going to lose your choice which career or which college or what degree you're going to go to or where you're going to go because out of fairness, somebody else is going to take that position or because again, we go through this with the DEI all over the place.
Right. I'm saying even eliminate the word fairness. I'm saying insert the word fairness into the same definition. Just take the word fair out.
My head hurts from that statement. That literally made no sense to me. Reword it some other way.
We'll have this discussion later. We have pre-programming already. We'll save this for a later topic.
Yeah, because you literally said take fairness out and then insert the definition of fairness in.
No,
that is
insert the word.
confusing me.
Insert the word. Replace fairness with the word freedom into your definition.
It wouldn't work because freedom is not the same as fairness. You cannot change it.
Inner swipe. You were going to try to say inner swipe. interswept.
Yeah, you can't interchange the words freedom and fairness. They just have completely opposite meanings. Completely not opposite, but completely
We are
different
not
meanings.
we are not fair. We're not free either. We're neither.
We're a lot freer than other places. I mean, I'm free to go to college if I have a way to do so. That's
If
not the
you have the
government's job
means,
to provide.
right?
Means is not a freedom. Money is not a freedom. The option to make money is a freedom. The option to pick a career is a freedom.
Then
Is what
anything
I was getting at.
then basically what you're saying is you're going to use anything and just say, "Oh, it's a freedom. It's a freedom
No.
to." Yeah. We'll argue this later. We'll discuss
It's
this
not gonna
later
it's not gonna make sense today, so I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go to the
because I
next
already
video.
gave you a headache, so we can't.
Actually, I'm just struggling with trying to grasp the wording. I don't think the wording makes sense. It must be me being stupid, so
No,
let's hit play.
it's both of us. So we both just
No,
start.
it's obviously it's me not understanding, but I'll
No,
let it
it
go.
could be. No, you're not going to let it go because it could
Yes, I
be me.
am.
No, you're not. This is hey, I'm a co-host on this too. I am what am I doing? I'm exerting my freedom here as part of
And
the
so am
show.
I. I'm exerting the freedom to move to the next video and shut my pie hole and not worry about
And
it.
I'm going to start oinking if you play that next video.
Okay.
I'll stop. Stop. We'll have this. This is a good topic for maybe questions that need answers or to come back to wrecked sisters on the difference between freedoms and fairness. And truly, I want to understand what you're saying because I don't, or I wouldn't be giving you
I don't
pushback
think I'm
on
smart enough to be able to put it in words for other people to understand.
Well,
That's
we'll
my
get it.
problem.
No, we'll get it. We
I
just
don't
gotta.
think I'm going to be able to.
Oh, come on, you're not. You know what, girl? If I have, don't make me get in the car with the frying pan. Don't, because I will. I'll
Feel
start right now.
free, because I
Feel
don't
free.
think I'm going to be able to communicate it right.
Yeah, you will.
Obviously.
We'll talk it out like we do everything else.
Oh, no, I'm not saying I'm mad or anything. I just don't think I'm
No, I
smart enough
didn't
to be
say
able to
that you
convey
were
the
mad. Did I
thoughts
say that
in a
you were
way that's
even mad?
comprehensible.
Now, where's madness coming into it? No, we got to
I'm
figure.
not. I never said that.
You just
I
said
just
that.
said I'm not mad. I'm not
Exactly.
upset by this. I just don't think I'm smart enough to be able to convey the
Oh,
information.
you are. Come on. Now you're giving yourself not enough credit for being smart. Come
Not
on.
smart enough in this one. Obviously.
Well,
Otherwise, I would have been able to
how about
convey the
this?
meaning
How about
and the
this? I'm
point
not
without
smart enough.
having to turn
How
into
about
this.
I'm not smart enough to understand what you're saying? How about that? Let's flip the script.
No. No,
Yeah.
it's usually 9 times out of 10 when there's a miscommunication of some sort, it's because I can't word it right.
Well,
That's just the way it's been my entire life.
maybe my ears aren't hearing right. You know what I mean? Come on now. Let's be
Let's just
let's
You
be
said
fair.
let's do this later, so let's do it later and move on to the next video.
Well, you're not stupid, so just stop. Now, if you'd like
That'll
to
be a discussion for
continue,
later.
we'll save it for later, we'll bring it back later, and it is a good topic I think to talk about. Just so that if I'm confused about it, which I am, and you're thinking one way and I'm thinking another way, well, then I think maybe our audience might be thinking of it differently as well, and different people might have different ideas. So that's all I'm suggesting, that it might be a good small 15 little minute segment that turns into
Oh, that ain't gonna be 15 minutes.
that turns into
Already, it's I could tell it's not gonna be 15 minutes
I
because you're just gonna keep asking about the quality of outcome versus the
did, you know what,
freedom to have the option to do it in the first place.
I
But
didn't even
we'll
go to equality of outcome yet, but we could go there. No, stop. All right, we're good. It's all good, people. And anybody in the audience that thinks we're fighting, we are not. So everybody take a chill pill.
This is a conversation where, again, I just don't think I can convey it. I might need to either think about it or find better words, get a thesaurus out,
Likewise,
and
And what will happen is we will spend, what, 4 hours on the telephone going back and forth with this in the same type of manner. And that's how we do, what's the word? Conflict resolution. And sometimes we agree and
Actually,
sometimes
that's
we
2
dis.
words.
Oh, oh, you're pushing it now, girl. You're pushing it now. So, again, but for anybody that thinks we're arguing, what do I get sometimes? Like, I might hear my kids or my grandson will say, you're hollering at me. I'll be like, no, this is hollering. So there's a difference between, and Crazy B and I do not fight. We do not, we might get passionate about something, or in this, what you saw here today, go back and forth. We're not fighting. So please don't anybody come at both of us saying, you two were really pissed off at one another today, when that's
No
not the
pissed
case.
off. This
No,
is not
pissed
pissed off, trust me.
No,
If it was
yeah.
pissed off, I would have bye. I don't do public arguments, so
Yeah, we would, neither
that
one of us
level.
would. So we truly will talk about this and then decide whether or not it's worth going forward with something, or we figure it out together. We come up with examples uh, until I think we try to get one of us to understand the other side, and that's truly what it is to seek understanding. And sometimes we don't get it, and we might have to drop something and come back and revisit it later. That's happened a couple times. And there's actually a couple topics that we have that are just, we choose to not talk about because we know that each other is kind of dug in on. We both see each other's side, but we both have our own take on it, and that's the way it is. And we just respect one another to say, you're entitled to your opinion. And I see your point. I don't agree with it, but whatever, and we let it go. So we're good.
Yep.
Are we Crazy B, or aren't we? Should I just go now?
We're good. I already just
Okay.
said it.
Okay. I want the audience to just know for sure we're good, and I don't got to leave. You want me to leave? I'll leave.
No,
Okay.
nothing
All
like
right.
that.
All right. We're good. Always well in the world.
All right, let me hit play so we can listen to this Florida minority leader. I believe it's in the
Oh,
Florida State Senate.
yes.
Switch sides.
Yes.
Whom I'm finding may not want it. There'll be a caucus meeting later this afternoon where I hope that the members of the Democratic caucus will elect a new leader. For today, I FedExed my voter registration form to change my party affiliation to no party affiliation. Joe Scott should receive that by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in Broward County. And here's why. Our constituents are craving practical leaders, not political hacks. We are entrusted to be guided by our conscience, and while I suppose it's easier in theory than it is in application, even my worst detractors have no valid claim that I can be bullied, that I can be bought, or even borrowed for a special interest. I am my father's son, even in his death. I am my mother's son while she is still alive. I will not miss another one of her birthdays, and I will return to who I was when I became a young man, independent in thought, in my passion, and my conscience, not consultants.
He left the Democratic Party because there's too much political BS.
Did we look up at all whether he took any PAC money or anything?
As far as I know, he did not.
Okay.
I was not able to find for sure, but from my brief research, no, he literally will not cave, and now he can't get nothing done. So he's like, screw this, and I quit. I'm not doing either party. I'm resigning. Have at it.
So he resigned altogether and just walked away.
Yep. And his voter registration went to independent. Not Republican, not Democrat. Mm-hmm. He is sick of the political hacks.
I don't mind. At one point early on, I was independent. What I didn't like was the inability to vote in the generals, and I just feel like the independents always seem to get screwed somehow. They never really get
Yes.
to, they never really get to have the voice. Uh, they don't get enough people drawn in. They don't get that leader drawn in, or they might have the leader, but they don't get enough support behind them. And that's really unfortunate because I think there's been some good people on the independent side that
Yeah.
sometimes I wonder if they would have picked this side, would they have stood a better chance? I realize why they didn't, but uh, it's really unfortunate.
I have always been independent. I have never signed Republican or Democrat. I've always been independent because sometimes I like a Republican over a Democrat, and sometimes I like the Democrat over the Republican. And I have been known to have a mixed ballot.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that if you're of the either party that you don't have the option to do that, right? If you're a Democrat, you still can vote Republican.
I'm not sure. I thought if you registered with one party, you could only vote for that party.
No.
And then just pick between the Democrats that were running.
No. That's in the general that you do that, not the general, the oh my gosh. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
The actual election?
Thank you. What is the my head is just it is in the filing cabinet, the drawers open, but it is not coming
The
out.
primaries.
Thank
you, JJ. Primaries.
Thank you. Jeez, man, that was like freaking pulling teeth. And look, he had to even capitalize it for us. Good God. Woo, man.
Thank you.
Struggling today.
My brain's short circuiting too today. Don't feel bad. Where are you
This
off
is
to?
terrible. The filing cabinet's open, the drawers open, but I can't pull it out. So yeah, when you're in the primary, you have to vote between those candidates. But when you go to the general, you get to pick between whoever you want. But so when you're in the independent, you don't get to pick. You don't get to go to the primary.
Yeah, but I don't really mess with primaries because that's just a way for them to get a feel of which way the country's leaning.
No.
And you no, the primaries are where you get to pick between the Republican or Democrat, like the primaries for the Democrats.
It's going to be like
and
that.
The primaries.
Out of that, the Republicans, who are you going to pick? Are you going to pick Trump or Tulsi or whoever, right? And then they
honestly,
I know.
Yeah, we do get screwed, and it's yes, it's not fair, but I don't want to be tied to Republican or Democrat. They're all stupid. And don't get me started on that Libertarian Party. And they're not what they claim to be.
There's that chick that's
some states have open primaries, what JJ was just saying.
There's that chick on Fox that's on Fox Business that's the Libertarian, and all she talks is about how great they are.
To a degree, the Libertarians are a decent party, except the ones that want total anarchy, like zero government. And I have an issue with them. That's a little bit too much, too far for me.
Right.
I like a little bit of government and a lot of freedom. So, yeah. But, I was going to show there was a sheriff out in LA that has decided he is also switching parties. Alex Villanueva, basically New Village, leaves the Democrat Party to become a Republican. I am leaving the party of paid protest, purple hair, and pronouns. Time to make California purple again.
Yep. Although that's going to be a long haul.
Well, he's got a lot of work ahead of him, but you know what? I think a lot of people are starting to realize that just vote blue no matter who is a very bad slogan.
I know, but concern that I would say about that is, look at what happened in Texas with that we covered with the Republicans that just
Yeah.
passed the meme vote. How the I don't even know what to say about that.
I have not seen it. Yeah. And this is again what happens when they move out and become politicians in another state and screw
Mhm.
that state up, like you were just saying, and various other idiots.
And that's where
So,
they were saying that the people that moved from California, Illinois, New York,
mhm.
Pennsylvania, that are moving down to Florida, to Texas, to other red states, they're bringing their political beliefs with them. They're leaving these
Yeah, but their political beliefs got them the shit that caused them to move in the
in the
first
first
place.
place. Exactly. So where's the change happen? Where's that occurred?
Yeah.
It's
No.
frustrating. It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to work out with all
Yep.
the moves. So
Ugh.
go ahead. I think
Then I have
did he make a statement, by the way? I thought he made a statement.
no. Not that I found. I have not found anything other than just the written report.
Okay.
So, but what I have next is going to boil everyone's blood. I get timed out, put in the corner, and everything else for having a genuine concern about certain things. But this kid right here is allowed to say what he's about to say with no restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to what he has to say because this is going to boil your blood.
One way black people achieve true liberation, that's by taking it in blood. There has to be blood all over the floor. There has to be bodies on the floor. There has to be people screaming and crying. That is the reality. And this is what history shows me. No amount of begging, no amount of complaining, no amount of protesting, nada is going to get you your liberation until you take it with blood. You see? So this is why I sit back and I don't play along with any of these black people talking about it's a spiritual war and this, that, because when those cops are going into our neighborhoods and shooting our babies, that's a physical thing. You see, y'all so worried about the spiritual world, and all, but you're not worrying about the world that's right in your face. When we're getting thrown in prison, that's a physical thing, right? Address the physical. You see, this is why I say, don't hit my phone until y'all ready to do what I know we got to do. When y'all ready to go outside and hunt them white boys, hunt them cops, go to that white boy's neighborhood and fuck his shit up. When y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do, hit me. But until then, I'm not playing around with y'all because it's all of these excuses for why we don't want to do it. Why? Many of us are scared. You know what I mean? Many of us are complacent in our oppression. Many of us don't want to burn the relationships we have with white people, all of these things. So I'm going to sit back and do my thing. When y'all ready to go outside and take blood, hit me anytime. But you see, a lot of us are not ready to do that. But I'm trying to tell y'all, there is no freedom. There is no liberation for our people until there's blood on that floor, on that battlefield. And that's the truth we don't want to admit.
And there's the word freedom.
Now, let's change out race. Swap him.
That guy white.
Swap him for a white person. What would happen?
Oh my God, all hell would break loose. The channel would be
Swap
down.
him for an Asian.
It would all. Maybe if it was Asian and he said kung fu fighting, that might be different.
I get the reference.
Thank you. Thank you. I tried.
And I get and that's what Art was even saying. Hold on. He said, replace the word white with black and tell me how it goes in this gentleman's statement. Yep. He is talking from time to time, the fountain of liberty must be replaced with blood of the tyrants and patriots. But this is not the same thing because no one is actively stopping them. This again goes back to the freedom versus fairness. No one is stopping them from going to college. If they don't do good in school because they're goofing around, hanging out with gangs, selling drugs, that is on them.
But
that is on nobody but them. It is a personal choice.
So, but he's talking freedom from the white man. And he's talking
Who's
about,
holding him down?
okay, but he's talking about going out and committing, whatever, unaliving people
Starting
potentially.
a civil war.
Correct. So is that a freedom when we have laws in place that you're not allowed to do that?
No, actually, we don't.
Right. That's my point from the beginning.
He has the freedom of speech.
Right.
And if he's right and he wins the war, then he writes the history.
Right, but what he said at the end was go back and replay it about his freedom. And that's the point I was trying to make all along, Crazy B, was...
But I don't know what freedom he doesn't have. What freedom does he not have?
I don't know, dear. I'd have to listen to his... I don't know who he is. Today's the first day,
Yeah, but I don't know what freedom he doesn't have. He has the freedom to get a job, and the boss has the freedom to hire or not hire him. We can't force a company to hire someone who may be a terrible worker. Companies would buckle. They would never be able to last. They have to be able to pick who they want to work there. They have to pick people who are knowledgeable in the job. So they have the freedom to pick the people who are right for the job, just like he has the freedom to apply for the job.
Right.
If he is credentialed.
Yeah, and unfortunately, government comes in if you have a contract and says you have to hire so many.
Yeah, but that's again DEI bringing in their fairness and equality bullcrap.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever get away from that though. On some of this
I
stuff.
like what Art says. The statement sounds like statements made by the pointy hats and the pointy hats, white hats back in the day. Yes. It's funny how it's completely flipped. And yes, forcing terrible workers. Yeah, it is. And this is again where he has the freedom of speech to put this out there. He has the freedom of speech to do this. We have the freedom of speech to counter it and say how it's wrong.
Right. And I mean,
he has the freedom to have a phone and internet to do this.
And I told you, we've talked about statistically which direction racially the country's going to be headed in.
Well, and that again, if it was a natural situation where race is naturally blended over time,
it would have been one thing.
What?
Correct.
But the forcing of this diversion and the division and this forced hatred is so stupid.
Right.
Honestly, I have nothing against this guy. If we were sitting in the same store or in a restaurant, I'd be nice and smile at him. If I saw him, I'd give him a smile. How's your day? Hope it's going good. If I see him struggling on the side of the road with a flat tire, pulling over, giving him help. We have a little portable air thingy to inflate tires. I would totally do it. That's, again, nothing to do with race. I even knowing this video, if I saw this exact person on the side of the road, I would still stop and help without hesitation.
If knowing this video and seeing him, I'd go right by him.
Nope. I'm the better person. I'm going to take the high road.
And then when you pull out your little thingy to put into his tire, that's when he whacks your head off. Okay.
I don't think he's actually going to do it. He doesn't have enough of an army to back him up. He's all talk, no action.
I know.
He wants an army to back him up.
He
won't. He's not a leader.
I know, because if not, he'd be doing it on his own. So,
bingo. Leaders lead by action, not words alone.
Yeah, he's a follower. He's an instigator. Yeah. What he is, an instigator.
An antagonist. Or is it protagonist?
Antagonist. Antagonist. But I would tell you, if this was me or you saying this, our channel would be down in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, JJ, pull out your little thingy.
Well, you knew what I meant. Her air compressor. See, I knew what the little thingy was. I was trying to think of what the little thingy to the tire is called. The yeah, that you put the air compressor on.
It's a
What's the?
portable air compressor,
I know, no.
and it.
You
Oh, you
attach
mean
it to the what?
the
That
stem,
little
the
thingy.
tire
Yeah,
stem?
the tire stem. Although that doesn't sound right, but I trust you.
It's a
Mm,
stem.
okay. I need stem cell is what I need. I need to be drinking more of that hot chocolate shit we
A
talked.
valve stem. Art
Valve. There
labeled it
you go.
correctly. A valve stem.
Thank
I just
you.
call it a stem.
Thank you, Art.
My
I need
bad.
valve. There you go. I need more of that hot chocolate shit is what I need.
It's a stem. The tire thingy is the stem. Yes.
Okay,
Which I
rag on.
just shortened it up and
Yeah,
dipped out on the
rag on.
valve.
Just keep ragging on us today. That's all. We never claim to know everything on this channel. You know, we know
I
some,
know a little bit about a lot.
and I know a little bit about jack shit. So there we go.
Let me pull up. The question is, did I have any more? Oh, yes, I do have one more thing to share, and then we got one last video if we have time. Let me go through this Trump thing that we had talked about.
See, you guys got
I
me all worked up. I had to shut the heater off.
Oh, God blessed. Son of a me. I'm enlarging. I'm zooming in on the wrong frickin' web
That's
tab.
okay. You're good.
Okay. Can y'all see that good?
Uh-huh. You want me to read?
Yeah, you can read.
Okay. Can I? Do I know how? Let's see. Go ahead. Scroll down. Fact sheet. President Donald J. Trump modernizes the American workforce programs for the high-paying skilled trade jobs of the future. Dated April 23rd of 2025. Overhauling federal, this was a executive order. Overhauling
Uh-huh.
federal workforce training today, President Donald J. Trump signed an executive order to modernize the American workforce programs to prepare citizens for the high-paying skilled trade jobs of the future. The order directs the Secretaries of Labor, Education, and Commerce to review all federal workforce programs to why can't I say that today? Modernize, integrate, and realign programs to address critical workforce needs in emerging industries. Scroll up, please. These secretaries shall provide President Trump with a streamlined and integrated plan to reorient federal workforce programs to prepare the American economy for the opportunities presented by reshoring and reindustrialization. This comprehensive workforce strategy will further America's global economic leadership and domination of key sectors by, among other things, ooh, Crazy V doesn't like this word,
This is the one thing
capitalize,
I don't like about it.
capitalizing on the AI revolution. Providing return on workforce investment. After years of shuffling Americans through an economically non productive post secondary system, President Trump will refocus young Americans on career preparation. Incomes might grow, I guess. One, decades of failed political leadership have left America with a one size fits all approach to workforce preparationness, which previous administrations promoted as college for all. I feel like I can't talk today. You know that?
Switch Trump up
Is
too.
that
I
different than
have the
any
same
other day?
problem.
I know. Is it different than any other day? The federal
No.
government, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. The federal government invests over $700 billion a year in American higher education, but only about half of new college graduates find jobs that require college degrees. Meanwhile, the federal government spends $4.1 billion on the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act and $1.4 billion on career and technical education through the Perkins Act. Neither of these programs are structured to promote apprenticeships or have incentives to meet workforce training.
Hold on one second. Art put in, but he wants to kill the Department of Education who could actually carry out this policy. He's what from my understanding, he was going in and getting rid of the DEI, the racist revision of what they're teaching and how to hate white people for all this stuff in the past. If I'm not mistaken, that's mostly what he's trying to remove and get us back to actual education and get where the schools can budget their money better
Correct. The state
instead of this nonsense stuff.
Correct.
So I don't think he's actually just going to close down all schools, but just revamp the focus of the schools from the DEI nonsense.
As well as
Oh, hold on. Oh no,
as
he wants to eliminate the Department of Education, just like every other Republican. Well, the Department of Education is why we ended up where we are
correct. And the big thing
with
is
the
teacher,
DEI stuff.
that and the teachers unions basically took over the Department of Education. Go take a look at what the two, and I can't think of the two dippity doos names right now. That goes along with the thingy, JJ. But the two dippity doos that are the union people, if you would listen to the words that they spout, the screaming, the hollering of what they want, the demands, just go back and think of the demands that they did on COVID, the lockdowns that they did to our children, and the harm that they did for the last 2 years that put almost every child in this country behind. There's no justification for what was done. And then to find out that the Biden administration went through the back door on this shit, and they have the letters and the documentation proving with how they worked hand in hand with the unions. It's bullshit. So I'm all down for getting rid of all of it. Again, bring in that wrecking ball and let's start it over again. Bring
I
in
think this, like JJ's saying right here, more liberty for the local school districts.
correct.
The states can handle what they're teaching their kids instead of the federal government
Yep.
saying this is the only thing you can teach your kids.
Right. And that's what the idea was supposed to be behind it.
Separation of powers.
Just like they did with abortion.
Yes, send it back to the states. Let the states
Correct.
deal with it.
Correct. And they know that
they can get federal help, but still let the states deal.
Right. So meanwhile, the federal government spends $4.1 billion on the Workforce Investment and Opportunity Act and $1.4 billion on career and technical education.
Why did it just do that?
I can't hold my breath that long.
There you go.
Go down. Okay. On career and technical education through the Perkins Act. Neither of these programs are structured to promote. To meet workforce training needs. The Trump administration is putting American workers first, unleashing domestic advanced manufacturing to produce the best American made products and implement work. Could you scroll up, Crazy Bee? Could you scroll up, please?
Oh, there's a lag again.
Yeah, that's okay. For some reason, I got this stupid little blurb I'll have to tell you about that sits in front of my words. And implement world-leading American-developed technologies. Back to the future of jobs. After decades of leadership by so-called experts making wrong predictions on what the future will hold, President Trump will restore focus on sectors and programs that made the American economy great in the first place. And if you keep going up, in 2024, there was a shortage of 447,000 construction workers and 94,000 durable goods workers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that the annual shortage of skilled tradesmen over the next decade will be close to 500,000 and grow as years go by. This understates the problem and the opportunity. Even the best federal government statisticians cannot predict the future. As the potential of American AI increases and as, would you scroll up, please? Ding, ding, ding. Scroll up, please, Crazy Bee.
I did. It's taking forever for it to come through to you.
I see. Must be the weather. And as America reshores manufacturing and makes Made in America a mark of international envy, America will need more skilled tradesmen than we're prepared to train. President Trump's executive order will meet the need. I can't see that behind that. Will meet the needs of the future with a focus on registered apprenticeships. The administration will submit a plan to support more than 1 million apprenticeships per year. So I
School
believe,
instead of
right,
university.
correct. I believe
And
that
that's it.
Mike Rowe is somehow involved in this from the guy from Dirty Jobs.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, he is part of the push for this.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that there is a lot of money to be made for being in the trades. That's from everywhere from what Crazy Bee, people in repair the big rigs, trucking,
Automotive.
automotive careers.
Yep.
My husband's in heating and cooling, but you name it, he can do it. Building trades, just about anything. The one thing that I will be concerned about this as when I first started in city government, I worked, while I was hired for the city, my position was funded by the federal government, to which I didn't know that initially. I wasn't told that when I got hired. And our whole section of personnel was actually funded by the government. And we hired and trained low income people in various jobs. Uh, Most of them occurred during the summertime. There were some during the winter, but they were typically for low income. And I would want to see opportunity not only for low income, but through across the board in the educational system, so that we're not pushing and promoting you have to go to a 4-year degree when it's obvious that you might be able to do an apprenticeship. Eric's brother was a shop teacher, and he taught things from metal shop to wood shop to the most creative thing is they ran go-karts. And so he taught the
Oh, I
students.
love go-karts.
Yeah, he taught the students how to build go-kart engines, and they actually got permission from the city from the public school district to have their own go-kart subsidized, and
Track.
yep, and they actually were able to race it and stuff. So there's
Oh
so much.
my god, that would be so much fun. I
Yeah,
wish I had that in high
yeah.
school.
So there were things like t-shirt to do t-shirt design, and again, it's the thingy, JJ. I'm on the thingy thing today. I just can't. The brain is not functioning. But I think there's a huge opportunity that students do not have to be coerced into the 4-year deal. And I think that you can go
I
from,
agree.
anywhere from, in fact, my niece she was able to go to high school and for half a day, and the rest of the day she went to a special school where she did
Trade school.
tech. Veterinarian tech.
Yep.
And in there they had culinary, they had art, they did automotive there as well, heating and air as well. So there's a huge
Yep.
opportunity if you get them in early. So
At my high school where I was going, we had a trade school nearby that offered secretarial, medical assistant, automotive body repair, paint and repair, I should say, small engine repair and like 4 other programs. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember what they were. But
Did
yeah,
did
they did exist. Many kids would graduate high school with a certification to a
mm-hmm.
career because of trade schools doing dual
Right.
enrollment.
There were
Yes.
actually some, depending on your hours and the way you worked, you could get an associate's degree on some of them. Uh, the way the courses were set up, like you had to have so many Englishes, so many maths. The kids could take extra classes and they could actually graduate with an associate's degree in some of the courses
Yes.
that they did. So,
Well, most associate degrees are 2-year
right,
programs.
correct.
So you take your last 2 years of high school
Mm-hmm.
and dual enroll and you're
Right,
good.
exactly. So I'd like to see that. The scary part, as you mentioned, the word that you don't like is AI. And I don't know where that's
Yeah.
gonna go. And I don't. What time are we at, Crazy B?
152
1:52.
or 2:52 your time. My bad.
That's okay. We're good.
I'm sorry. No, oh my God. No, it's 3:52. We're at an hour and 52 minutes of the video. Never mind. We'll just stop. I
No,
can't.
I was.
I'm looking at one clock thinking it's the actual time, but it's the hour and 52-minute mark.
We're good.
Ignore me.
Do we have time to do that last video we talked about, or do you want to save it?
The last video we have actually, we didn't get to the Ashli Babbitt video, her family.
Oh, I forgot. No, I'm
Um,
talking about the
the
one that we.
truck one? No,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we can talk about it, but we'll be running late. And I can always just push the Ashli Babbitt video to another day.
Well, how long's the Ashli Babbitt one?
11 minutes.
Okay. Why don't you show that one then? That'll
We can
take us.
cut it at some point where we don't have to necessarily watch it all the way.
Okay, and then we could
where's
finish it
my
up on
layer?
Tuesday. We could finish it on Tuesday.
Or we just don't even need to watch the whole thing because he does kind of get into some stuff that has nothing to really do with it. So,
Okay, your call. I didn't see this one, so
all right.
your call.
Okay, let's hit play and see what he says.
Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm, of course, the one and only Truth Pimp here, Paul Glasgow, bringing you a vulgar display of logic and reason. Did you hear that Ashli Babbitt, that's the January 6er who was climbing through the window and was murdered by Lieutenant Byrd of the Capitol Police? Did you hear that her family has won a lawsuit against the federal government?
This morning, new details about 35-year-old Ashli Babbitt, who was shot and killed by a Capitol Police officer. Video captures the moment she fell to the ground during the chaos. He's got a gun! As others warned of the danger, medics then rushing her to the hospital, but she later died. A documentarian says he witnessed the shooting.
Oh! She was going strong, and next thing I know,
the person who was streaming it, I was watching their live stream on the day it happened as it happened. Well, they were streaming there was someone there who was streaming the video. I don't know if it's the video they were showing, but I was watching it as it happened. So this hits hard because I was literally watching it live as it was happening. So it's fucked up.
I know she was shot. I do remember yelling guns when I saw guns and trying to warn her from going in. Like, it was like very slow motion because I was trying to, in my mind, trying to capture this scene.
Inside the House chamber,
they broke the glass.
Lawmakers were hiding, including Congressman Markwayne Mullin, who is defending the officer's actions.
He didn't have a choice at that time. The mob was going to come through the door. There was a lot of members and staff that were in danger at the time.
He did have a choice. You never fire into a crowd of unarmed people. There was alternatives. He didn't even say stop or I'll shoot. Out of all the video angles and sounds and stuff I've watched, he never says stop, I'll shoot. He just pulls his gun and shoots. Just want to point that out.
Babbitt was a 12-year Air Force veteran living in San Diego with her husband. Her family describes her as loving and says she was a staunch supporter of the president.
She's my only granddaughter. I'm sorry, man.
Her grandfather says Babbitt attended every Trump rally she could.
Excellent patriot, an avid Donald Trump fan. She served time in the military. She's passionate about everything, particularly Donald Trump for some reason.
The U.S. Capitol Police officer who shot Babbitt is now on leave pending an investigation.
So oddly enough, that they are claiming that this Lieutenant Byrd, who actually shot her, was put on leave, because my understanding was he was relieved of all responsibilities. I'm going to make this assumption that it has something to do with the different administrations. Obviously, the Biden administration was happy that Ashli Babbitt died. I mean, they did everything but celebrate it. And they did celebrate the killer, Lieutenant Byrd. They certainly celebrated him. In fact, I believe he had an hour-long segment on 60 Minutes or something like that. Anyway, the guy was certainly celebrated. He was cleared of any wrongdoing by the Biden administration. I'm wondering if maybe he was still on the force, and I'll find that out. And if now that the Trump administration is in there, if maybe now he's been put on leave as a result of that, which we know what leave means, right? It means paid vacation. It's a government job. No one ever has their pay cut. No one ever gets relieved of their duty. They all keep their pension. So I'm like, who cares if he was put on leave, right? I'd rather him have to work for his paycheck instead of getting it for free. But the guy was a hothead. I'll have to do another segment on Byrd at another time. He was perfect for the Democrats at that time because of what he did. He shot Babbitt. I mean, that's what they wanted. They needed something like that. But the guy was a hothead. The guy's a screw up. And there's way more.
And there is a history of his screw-ups by him leaving his gun in the bathroom on the back of a toilet one time, and somebody had to go hunt him down and give him back his gun.
Jeez.
Kind of irresponsible for Capitol Police. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard that story. Did you hear about that, Dee?
No, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, one time, I think, and there was another incident with him too. Prior to that, January 6th, both incidents, one was leaving his gun in a bathroom on the back of a toilet, and I can't remember the second one, but he had 2 incidents already. So, yeah, dude should not have been there. And he should not have gotten a free of wrongdoing nonsense. He didn't even properly follow the procedures that most police have of acknowledge it. Say, hey, I'm here, police. Stop or I'll shoot. You got to do these things. It just bugs me. She shouldn't have been climbing in the window. I agree, but the outcome wasn't necessary either. And that's basically this guy's point. She's wrong for climbing through the window. He's wrong for shooting her. JJ says they were aware of the gun being left in the bathroom. But yeah, so yeah, basically summing this up, so that way we don't have to go through the full 11 minutes. Yeah, summing it up, dude should not have done that whatsoever. He does belong. He should be in jail for it. Let me go pull up those last 2 things really quick that you sent me in Discord.
And just by the way,
me
JJ,
forgot to download them.
Regarding thingy, you better get used to it because that's Crazy B and mine. We do it every day, every morning, but it usually goes, the thing, the thing, the thing, the thingy, the thing. So you got to get used to the thing. Right, Crazy B? Every day.
Yes,
it's
the thing.
Every single day.
It's something that routinely, yes.
It drives us absolutely crazy because we can never, sometimes we get it and sometimes we just got to leave it at the thing. Maybe that should have been the thing. That should have been or was that the Blob? What was that? Was he called the Blob or the Thing? There was a movie.
Actually, there's more than one Marvel character type thing. The Blob was the Thing from outer space. What's his face? Jim McQueen. Dude, McQueen. Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen.
That was the Blob. However, the Thing is from Fantastic Four, the Rock dude. Or the Thing, which was also
Came out of the
Dennis Quaid, I
water?
believe,
Didn't it come out
80s
of the
movie in
water?
Antarctica or North Pole.
Hmm.
There's 2 things.
Okay. Well, this is what happens to us
So
every day. And usually we have
when you get
the
in
thing
the heat of
figured
the
out
moment,
before we
mistakes
go
are
live, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't always happen because, why would we do anything pre-planned?
Mhm.
Anyways, I'm gonna cover this one first because it has a video. I'll pull it up and I'll let you go through it, because you found it. Do we wanna watch the
Oh, what?
video
This
or
was
read the
the only
article?
thing I found today? Oh, I only get credit for one thing?
Oh,
Is that
you found most of this.
Okay.
You found most of this. But this is the one that you found that was most
The most
interesting in my
the
well,
latest that
actually, they
we
were
have.
all interesting.
Yeah, this one is
So, do we wanna read it or watch the video?
watch the video.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead, watch the video, because God only knows is the math gonna work right.
Controversy among truckers after an executive order is requiring them to pass English literacy tests.
The order puts specific focus on road safety. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from a truck stop in Davie with reaction.
A federal law requiring English proficiency for commercial drivers already existed. But according to President Trump, it had not been enforced in years. And he claims that made the roads less safe. Russell Rocha has been a truck driver for 17 years.
We need to open the door to opportunity for everybody.
While he says there is a need for drivers, Rocha sees the logic behind the executive order signed by President Donald Trump on Monday.
If you can't read or understand a certain sign that's a little dangerous, it could affect all of us.
The new order requires truckers to demonstrate proficiency using the English language before getting behind the wheel. According to the executive order, proficiency means drivers can read and understand traffic signs and communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, and agricultural checkpoints, as well as others.
Es una ley inefasta.
It's an awful law. Yoman Rivera told me.
En mis 15 años como camionero.
In my 15 years as truck driver, I never had an issue with English. Rivera claims he recognized the signs and communicated with officers.
Now, hold on. We just spoke about this with my ex-brother-in-law. He's saying he's never had a problem with English, but he's only speaking in Spanish. But according to my ex-brother-in-law, all the tests are in English, all the final tests. So who's translating the test for them?
Right, and that's my issue to begin with. Why did Trump have to sign an executive order? Because I thought all of the driver's testing, no matter what, from a car all the way up through a tractor trailer truck and beyond to hazardous material trucks, you have to take the test in English, right? And that's where we started to talk to your brother-in-law, ex-brother-in-law. So if it's occurring, it has to be substantial, right, for Trump to go and write an executive order about it. Yes, no? I mean,
Yeah.
we got this at the very
Well,
last
like he
minute.
said, he's gone to places where he's trying to park his tractor trailer. He's trying to drop his trailer, and the guy can't speak English, and he's trying to communicate with him where to go, and the guy's just shrugging, and he's got to go find someone who speaks English. So
Trump
we
did
do
sign it.
obviously
Well,
there's a
Trump,
major problem.
yeah, well, first, Trump did sign the executive order saying that English, we discussed this, is the national language. Okay, so it follows this for the truckers. Well, the other thing that goes with the trucking industry is, they claim they're going to be phased out by AI. So will it even matter in the future? But in the meantime, how many truckers are out there that don't speak English, that do not know the road signs, that don't know what's going on? We'd have to probably go to the Department of Transportation and see. I don't even know if those.
Well, you heard what my ex-brother-in-law said.
Yeah.
Absolutely all over the place. It
Right.
is everywhere.
Right. So we found this at the last, right before we came on air, and thought it was an interesting topic.
I
Because who
can
would have?
continue hitting play
Yeah,
if you
because who
want.
would have known? Go ahead.
With his limited English. First off, but according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, there are documented cases where drivers' inability to read signs and speak the language may have contributed to a series of fatal accidents.
We have to watch out for lives. I mean, that's most important, right? It depends on how many people are affected and how many people decide to exit the industry because of this.
Rivera says he's already seen many truck drivers putting their trucks on sale. He also says the consumer is the one who will suffer. Rocha agrees.
It would affect the consumer by not picking up on time, by not delivering on time, or in between transit from shipping to receiving.
So U.S. Secretary of Transportation will begin taking action to see who is not complying with the requirements 60 days from yesterday. Drivers who are found not in compliance could be taken out of service. We are in Davie. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
And I want to catch this comment from you. My ex-brother-in-law is already seeing problems with it. He has for the last 3 or 4 years. It's been like everyone and anyone who flooded the border could become a truck driver, and it has been causing accidents. It has been causing problems at detours. It has been causing problems at the warehouses where you're picking up and dropping off. There's been a lot of accidents at the warehouses where they're not backing it up right, they're not putting it in the right spot, they're just doing whatever because they don't understand. So again, it's the whether there was or wasn't
I find it hard to believe that he would just say, I'm just going to write an executive order that says truckers have to read, know English, and know the roads of the signs on the
I
side of
actually
the
was
road.
watching a video from last year. This trucker was so drunk driving his semi truck, he crashed it off the road, flipped it on its side, and when the cops were trying to get a hold of him, he couldn't speak English enough to tell them to call his wife.
I know somebody else that is a trucker. I will get some further detail to see where,
hmm
if it supports what you're finding crazy be. All right.
hmm
And
And then we have an article if you want. I can read it through.
go ahead, you can read it and puddle it up.
Yeah. So Colorado truckers react to Trump's executive order mandating English proficiency. So this is in Colorado. In Denver, let's just see. This ordered sign, read and speak English. I want to kind of skip over what we don't need. So Denver 7 says this one driver whose primary language is Spanish said he's been in the industry for 42 years and is always safe on the roads. I think it's humiliating against truck drivers, he said in Spanish, without us. Without us, you can't do anything. Everything moves through yours. We could hire American drivers. What's so hard about? I mean, if you moved here, learn English if you want to work in this field. Communication is important when you're truck driving, and obviously he speaks decent enough English. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in the field for this. And wait, hold on a second. He's been in the industry for 42 years, so he's got to be at least 60 years old. So that means he speaks English better than he's letting on. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
I'm calling bullshit on this one. I'm calling bullshit. On the other hand, other truckers we spoke to said he believes it will increase safety. I think it's a good thing because that way everybody can read the signs. Yeah. We won't have half as many traffic accidents as we did. Just like what happened a few years back on Highway 70, the truck driver said. The driver is referring to a 2019 Lakewood crash that occurred when a semi-truck's brakes malfunctioned, causing it to crash into about a dozen other cars and 3 other semi-trailers, resulting in an explosion that killed 4 people. It was later determined the trucking company had 30 safety violations, including brake issues and drivers with weak grasp of English. And again, if the truck driver doesn't know to look for these problems on the trucks, how are they going to report them to the owner, the operating company, to have them repaired? It's like, it was so in a weak grasp of English. The truck driver was convicted and sentenced to 110 years. Whoo! But it was later reduced to 10 years after Governor Polis granted clemency. Both truckers, Denver 7 interviewed, preferred not to share their names or disclose their trucking company. No shit, they don't want to get fired. And Alexandria Padilla, an economics professor of Metropolitan State University, said the order could impact the industry already facing shortages. So encourage more people to get CDLs instead of going to a university for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Reminds me of the nursing shortage.
I recognize some of these executive orders were again, we already had policies in place for the truck drivers to take the tests in English. It should have been enforced that if they don't speak good enough English, they don't get the license. But obviously, like my ex-brother-in-law suspects, people in the DOT are helping people get past this and pushing paperwork through.
You mean similar to what was occurring in the FAA?
Yes. And so I don't think the executive order is going to make any major difference. People are just going to get slicker in how they go around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of one of those things where why add more laws when you can enforce the ones that are already there? If that makes any sense. It's kind of like like all the gun laws. Why add more gun laws? Enforce the shit that's there.
Right.
Oh, Art says, I remember that crash. It was horrific. I've seen some bad ones where the drivers speak absolutely no English and they're calling a family member to translate to the police while they're on the side of the road.
Right.
Yeah, this is really messed up. And it is putting us, regular people on the road, at risk. I think we do need to be a little bit stricter. And there's nothing wrong with being a truck driver, but so many people have been told it's a bad job, it's tough, it's this,
Right.
it's that. They're deterred from it, go to a university, and now they have no choice but to find whoever will actually do it. Again, trade school situation.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of problems because people don't want to take the lesser job anymore.
Well,
They
not a
only want
lesser
top
job,
dollar
but
for least amount of work.
yeah, not a lesser job, but a perceived lesser job. There's good money to
Yeah.
be made truck driving.
Oh yes, there is. And they have better regulations now where the companies can't force you to drive more hours.
Right.
They actually have devices in the truck that if you are supposed to be sleeping, you're not going anywhere. That truck will monitor. That truck will tattletale on you. It'll rat you out if you try driving when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Correct. So the industry has gotten, from a safety perspective, somewhat better.
Yes.
Again, I just find it, unless it was an issue, I find it hard to believe with everything going on in the country that he was just like, oh, let me write an executive order about the truckers. Something must have, either Sean Duffy, the cabinet secretary, had to have come up with some type of report. We did not have a chance to research any of that to see what their safety stats or anything are like, and I don't even know if they would be available, how many incidents occur with non-English speaking citizens or non-citizens. I don't know.
And see, all I have is my ex-brother-in-law who works at a distribution center for a grocery store. I don't want to give away too much information because I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
Right.
And Dee heard the conversation. He mentioned incidents that have happened because people don't speak English. And it is very frustrating. And then you got to find someone who does speak the language. And that is a holdup right there. So they're delaying productivity by not speaking English. And again, if I were to move to Mexico and I was speaking English, I'd be getting in so much trouble. You got to learn the language if you move to a country. They don't make exceptions anywhere else in the world. You have to know the native language.
But we had this discussion previously when he signed the executive order saying that English would be the national language. We never had one prior to that.
But for trucking industry, it was, I guess, mandatory that it be taken all in English. Before all of this, even before the English the primary language.
But I will argue maybe, and I don't know, I would say predominantly, I'm taking a guess that it would be Hispanic population. In a lot of other countries, you will see signs in their native language, and maybe English is underneath it.
That's
or
the
another
tourist
language.
zones.
Yeah.
Those are only in tourist zones.
You don't think they're out any further?
Oh, I know they're not elsewhere. Only the tourist zones. I promise you. Any country, if you're out of a tourist zone, you're not going to see English written anywhere. I'm just going to say flat out. I know for a fact there is any place that, like, you go to Prague, Czechoslovakia, you're going to see English in the tourist zones. Leave the tourist zone. Good luck finding your way back. I mean, even look at our major cities. We have stuff in foreign language and English in the cities. Do we have it out in the country?
No, it's not in our city.
In the rural areas.
Yeah.
You're not going to see dual language. Not language. Oh my God. I need to I need to re-educate myself in American language. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. I really don't. But you don't need an EO to have the DOT enforce existing law. That's kind of my point. That's kind of what I was looking at. Why is this an executive order when they could just enforce it? But then again, people in the DOT who are foreigners are going to let their friends and family skirt by. We have a problem here. We really do. And we are 20 minutes past.
That's okay.
Holy crap.
That's good.
You got stuff you got to do. So let's wrap this up for the day.
I'm done. I need to just keep my mouth shut for a while before I get in trouble. What are you doing here, Missy?
You won't get in too much trouble.
Oh, yeah, I will. Anyway, I'm done for the day. We're off tomorrow, that's correct?
Yes.
Yep.
I'll be doing questions that need answers with an interesting topic my son brought to me.
And that would be, are you willing to share the topic name?
Yeah, there's a glitter conspiracy that is supposedly solved that I had no idea about.
Yeah, and you wonder what we spend our mornings on. Ask how long that took.
Oh, that was over an hour-long conversation with my son and you and doing some research into it.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't know if I remember.
Topic.
I think I might be able to join you. I'm not positive. It all depends how long I'm up there.
And that's fine. You're always, it's an open invite for that show.
I know.
Anyone's always welcome to stop in and rub their 2 cents.
Oh, Miss Hyde's back. Oh, don't bite me. Stop. I said don't bite me.
And Hyde's like, bite me, and I will
Yeah,
bite you
really.
anyways.
She's kicking the, ow, you know what?
She's like, it's time for you to pay attention
Oh,
to
yes,
me.
she is. She just knocked the cushion, the little pillow thing that the, honest to goodness, it's time. I'm done, Crazy Bee. I'm worn out. It's been a long
All right, let's
weekend.
call it a day.
Yeah, having the kids was rough.
All righty. So, all right, folks, we will see you tomorrow and Tuesday.
Right. And don't forget the new scheduling beginning next week. Tuesday will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 3 to 5, with Saturdays off. Crazy Bee will be doing questions that need answers on Sundays and Mondays.
And
And that's
gaming when I get to it during the mornings.
correct.
So, yep.
Which
Gaming is a
hopefully
hit
will
or
be,
miss, but mostly every day.
yeah, hopefully every day. So, all right, everybody, have a good one. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of your night and a good Monday. And we shall see you tomorrow and questions that need answers. And on Tuesday with finishing up some of or continuing corrupt politicians.
Yep. So stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good one.